Okay, welcome everybody to Talladega Superspeedway. Big day today for us here with the Fred's 250. We've got some exciting news though for next year. I'd like to introduce our panel here. To my immediate right is Grant Lynch. He's the chairman here of Talladega Superspeedway. We have our friends from Winn-Dixie here as well. Rich Romano, he's a sales and marketing manager for Bilo Holdings Winn-Dixie. And also Jim Rossetti, the district director for Winn-Dixie in Birmingham. And the gentleman to the far right, Dale Earnhardt Jr., a five-time winner here at Talladega Superspeedway. Grant, I'll let you open it up and sort of talk about a little bit what we're doing here today.
Well, on behalf of Talladega Superspeedway, it's great to welcome Winn-Dixie back into the fold, so to speak. They've been a sponsor. I've been here almost 22 years, and y'all have been a sponsor for a lot of those years. So it's great to have y'all coming back on board with us next year, and I think the partnership will be beneficial to both. Certainly will be for us, and appreciate Dale coming out as well today.
Rich?
Thank you very much. My name is Rich Romano. I'm the sales and marketing manager for Winn-Dixie Bilo Holdings, and we are very excited to be here for today's announcement of the Winn-Dixie title sponsorship with Talladega Superspeedway. I'm pleased to also be here with Jim Rossetti. He's Winn-Dixie's district manager, and we're announcing the Winn-Dixie 300 here at Talladega in 2015, May of 2015. A great number of our customers and associates are NASCAR fans, and this sponsorship represents Winn-Dixie's ongoing efforts to create meaningful connections with our customers by being a part of events that they're passionate about. The company is proud to sponsor and be a partner with Talladega Superspeedway, not only for this race, but the historic weekend. I'll turn it over to Jim to say a few words.
So Winn-Dixie has established a strong presence in this community and repositioned itself as a preferred grocery destination in Alabama and the Birmingham area residents. Mr. Flavin, our regional vice president, along with Winn-Dixie local, regional, and corporate leadership, is excited to introduce the Winn-Dixie 300 to the state of Alabama and kick off the best motorsports weekend experiences in the country.
Thank you, Jim. I want to thank Dale and Mr. Lynch for giving us the opportunity to come out here today. Thank you both for being here and inviting us. I'd like to invite the both of you and Jim to come up and unveil the logo.
I'll get around there.
Okay, we'll open it up for some questions. By the way, once we get concluded here, we're going to have Dale's going to stick around just for a few minutes to answer a few questions concerning this weekend's race. So, but anyway, questions for today's announcements. Please don't be bashful. Dale, what does it mean for you to be a part of this sponsorship announcement? Talladega has been very special to the Earnhardt family and Winn-Dixie as well.
Yes, we're real happy that Winn-Dixie is going to continue the partnership here at Talladega. Winn-Dixie's had a long history in the sport. Obviously, the Nationwide Series and the new Xfinity Series. In the years past, it had a relationship with Mark Martin, won a lot of races. We've worked with them as well through our partnership with Unilever. We were able to go to Victor Lane with Casey this year at Daytona in July with the Winn-Dixie on the quarter panels, and that was a great memory for us. And Casey will also be racing in the race next year along with Chase and Regan. So it's a great partnership, I think, for for the track. We've enjoyed it. I'm glad that they're continuing their involvement in the series and in the sport.
Rich, from your standpoint, what's it like for Winn-Dixie to come back into the fold here, especially at Talladega? You guys have had your names on races before and also been a mainstay in the sport, sponsoring cars, as Dale said.
We have, and we're very happy to be to continue to grow our involvement with the sport. We do have a history here at Talladega, and it's really exciting for us to be able to come back and be a part of the Xfinity Series. And we just can't wait to get to May 2015.
Right here.
Jerry Jordan, kicking the tires. With so many options for companies to spend their corporate dollars, what is it about Talladega and NASCAR that attracts you guys and to do this sponsorship?
Well, I would say that we look at always trying to figure out what are the things that are most important to our customers and to our associates. And certainly NASCAR is something that's near and dear. But quite frankly, there aren't very many motorsports weekends like that weekend in motorsports here. And it really was a great opportunity for us to step in, and we're very excited about it.
Jim, what about from a local standpoint? You know, what does Talladega mean to your brand in this area?
Well, we take the sponsorship with a lot of pride in our stores and with our associates. So it's a great feeling to be able to be part of the community and to be a good neighbor, and to not only benefit the community by being involved in these events, but also spreading the word about these events to our customer base.
Questions? Right over here. Hold on one second. Claire B., coming to you.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Dale, you usually don't pair up with things that you don't believe in, and you really must believe strongly to be up sitting with these guys and talking about it. What beyond what you already mentioned makes Talladega so special? What is it about this place, you know, from behind the wheel to be, and in the nationwide side of things too? It's a great race no matter what series seems to race here.
But just the shape of the racetrack, uniqueness of the track. You know, when they built the place, the drivers really weren't even sure of it, and it took a while for people to really wrap their minds around competing at a facility so large and so grand. And right in the heart of the South, I think it's got a great fan base. A lot of people really support the racetrack, and have, you know, the state's adopted this place as their own, and just has a lot of history. But just, yeah, the shape and the size, how it's so different and unique than anything else. Even it is in ways a lot different from Daytona. So even though those two tracks are compared to each other, definitely some differences there that set them apart in certain ways. So there's no track like it, and I don't know that they'll ever recreate a place like this anywhere else.
Questions? Any more questions? Well, thank you very much. Again, we're excited about having Winn-Dixie be a part of Talladega Superspeedway. And now I'm going to bring up Kerry Tharp. Kerry, where are you? We'll start here with a few questions here with Dale Jr.
I want to thank the fine folks at Winn-Dixie for their support. Certainly a staple of the sport. Great fit, I think, with Talladega Superspeedway. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is available now for a few questions. He's the driver of the number 88 Diet Mountain Dew Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. Dale, I'll just ask you one right off the bat. What's it going to take for you to try to get in victory lane tomorrow here at Talladega?
Well, I think that if I understand this style of racing that this package creates, we need to be toward the we need to be in the front. We need to be, you know, actually controlling the restarts at the end of the race, being able to choose, you know, the inside or outside line and who's going to be pushing you on those particular starts. That guy there is going to be the one in the, you know, in control of the race. And with this particular package, the leader is not impossible to pass, but he really has the upper hand. And with our cars and how capable I know our cars are throughout this season at the plate tracks, I feel like that we can fend off pretty much most challenges that we're presented with. And we got the lead here in the race earlier this year, and we're a little bit short on fuel, and ended up coming down pit road and not taking the gamble. The gamble worked out for the other guys that were in the same boat as us. We didn't do it for some reason. But when we were up there leading, I felt like I had control of the race, and felt like that guys were making some runs and trying to make passes, and we were just able to really fend them off relatively easily. So we need to try to run the race kind of like we run the repaves or the road courses, and run the race backwards. And we'll probably have to gamble on a little fuel, be a little bit short, but to get that advantage over 42 other cars, you're gonna have to be willing to risk more in regards to fuel mileage or what strategy you have on pit roads. So we're willing to do that. We got nothing to lose. If the race plays out that way, that would be the best scenario for us.
Thank you, Dale. We'll take a few questions. We'll go Ed, Alan, and then Jay Busby.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. Dale, of all the races you've run here, with trying to advance here, has there ever been more on the line for you at this place than this time?
Yeah, I don't think so. Well, I mean, we were leading the points, or I don't remember exactly what the situation was when we were in the chase that one year when we was cussing in Victory Lane. But that was a pretty big race for us. We felt like having a great season, in great shape points wise at that particular race. So probably didn't realize how big a deal it was then. Definitely have a better sense now with the years of experience and things that we've learned and mistakes we've made in the past. So it's a pretty big deal. I wish we were in a better position to achieve what we want to achieve and be able to move forward. I wish we had to finish X or better, but we got one route, and that's to Victory Lane, and that's the only way we can get forward into the chase. So it's definitely a tall order, but we got nothing to lose. Like I say, we're just going to go out there and try to accomplish that goal and give it all we got.
And one little follow-up. Is there such a thing as any more intensity than you always drive this place? Is there such a thing as even more for you on Sunday because of the position you're in?
Well, you got to be smart. I think you're going to have to be very risky and always trying to move forward. There are certain races here where there's a bide your time moment. There is a time where there's a part of the race where any move is unnecessary, and you're calculating how necessary each move is every lap you run. But I think you'll have to run I'm going to have to run a good enough race to try to win. But at the same time, I'll be out there trying to think about, what I need to do to get the next position, or what I need to do to try to get toward the lead. I need to be in the lead. I need to be toward the front every lap, so that we're there at the end of the race. We're not just going to magically pull something out of our hat that nobody else has at the end of the race on pit road to get the lead. We got to be there all race long. We can't just flip the field at the end of, with the last few pit stops and miraculously use a strategy no one else has. So we're going to run up, try to be getting toward the front and making our way toward the front the entire race. And knowing that I've got to win definitely will be in the back of my mind the entire lap, every lap throughout the race. So it's going to be different. It'll be different. I don't think I've never been in that situation before. I don't think any driver ever has, where it's win or nothing. So we'll just there's a couple of us out there like that too. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully it's a real exciting race. I hope that everybody walks away satisfied when it comes to the fans and the media. But we know what we need to do, and we're just going to work hard every lap to try to do it.
Go Alan, Jay, and then Reed. Go ahead, Alan.
Alan Cavana, NASCAR.com. Dale, when you think about what you have to do tomorrow, do you think more about the races you won and how you did it, or the races you lost and why you lost them?
Not really either one. These races are like snowflakes, at this place. They all play out differently, and the person that the people and the players up front are a little bit different every time, and the style, the way what happens and how you how you get to the front and who you're working with is never the same, and so there's just so many variables. I think that the strategy that I talked about on pit road is important. If we can have that as a tool and utilize that properly, that really makes the job a lot easier. Typically one thing that I may look back on is seeing what strategy other guys did to stay up front, the guys that did end up running well in these races since we've changed the package. And typically when you look at the race, the same guys are usually up front the entire race. And it's really difficult to infiltrate that top five with this package. You'll see the bottom, so you take the top five guys and they get up into the top five, right? And they're pretty content for that particular part of the race. Maybe it's 100 miles in, 50 miles in, 75 miles in. Those five guys are real happy with where they're at. They get on the bottom lane, and that outside lane forms up and tries to get up there and become part of that. And they get about to third place, and they sort of get hung right there. And they sit there and sort of fight all day long right there around that third place car. And every once in a while it'll shove forward. Outside line will take the lead. But, for the most part, everyone else is sort of sitting there in line wanting to be up there. And, there's really no easy answer to get there. You have to do it on pit road. Restarts, maybe you can steal a bunch of spots on restarts while everybody's trying to get organized. But once they do organize, it's very, very difficult to move forward if you're not already there. So we've got to do some things on pit road and try to do everything we can as far as making great choices on restarts. And it's really a lot of times it's just luck. But we just you got to be mentally positive about decisions you're making, and typically they work out.
We'll go Jay, Reed, and then Marty.
Jay Busby, Yahoo Sports. Dale, over this direction here, what are you going to be doing to mentally prepare yourself over the next 24 hours, mentally and physically prepare yourself outside of the car?
Nothing. I've done it I've been racing here a long time. I got it. Just got to get my suit on and get in the car. Ain't much to it, man. You just get in there and do it. I just don't need to eat any bad fish, and don't need a bunch of junk food. Put good stuff in your body you can burn, and drink a lot of water, hydrate. But there's really, physically it's very simple to race here. When you end the race, you don't feel really any physical drain or anything like that. Mentally, it's pretty tough. But I don't know that we do mental exercises or anything to really prepare yourself. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually, ready to, I'm ready to race and looking forward to the race to begin, have some fun. And I like the challenge. I feel like this sense of this bit of fortunate, this little bit of luck and fortune to still have a shot. After how bad we've ran the last 2 weeks and the troubles we've had, to even have an opportunity is pretty neat. And on one side of the coin. So I'm looking at it in a bit of a more positive manner than we're in panic mode. And we've got to go crazy here. We just we got a shot, and we know what we need to do, and doing it's another thing, obviously. But we're going to go out there and try to put our best foot forward all day long.
Let's go to Reed. Excuse me. We'll go to Reed, Bob, and then Marty. Go ahead.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Dale, another unique aspect of this playoff system is that if you win the race, chances are you knock a teammate out. Has that had any effect at all on the dynamic within the organization at all?
No, it never does, really. We all sort of just race our own races, run our own seasons, and I would never expect any of my teammates to do anything differently. They need, they're supposed to go out there and run as good as they possibly can run, finish as well as they can possibly finish every week. I've been in situations in years past with Michael in particular at racetracks where we're working together and it's 5 laps to go, and I'm driving the Bud car and the Miller car's behind me. If I pull out, he's not going to go with me. I want to, do I help my teammate? I've been in those situations before, and there's really no other answer than, all you have to do really in that situation is think about the team on pit road, all the guys that are working in that shop and the fabricators that work on your car individually that are at home watching, and they want you to win. And those are the people that matter. So you got to go and try to do whatever you need to do. And that particular night I pulled out and Rusty didn't go, and we went to 6th. And I think Michael won. But we tried, and I felt so much better having tried than to sit there and run right behind my teammate and not have tried, So I think that's the mentality that you have to have, and we've got to, we are one great company that we all try to work for and try to improve and help. But when it comes down to individual races, you got to do everything you can for the guys that are putting your car together. And you want it too. I definitely need to move forward. I need to get into the next round. We want to get into the next round, and we can't worry about anybody else to make that happen.
Go Bob, Marty, and Claire.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. After the last couple of weeks, how do you handle if you have a vibration, not worrying about whether your shifter is going to break, or if you feel a tire loose at all or something that you're not going to have a flat?
Yeah, car's real smooth. It's like a bass boat across the lake at 5 a.m. yesterday. It was smooth as glass, so that was nice. We went to Phoenix and tested and had the same vibrations. So we worked on that for 2 days and didn't really find it. But guys are working real hard trying to figure out what the problem is. We broke that one shifter in the race, and we put another shifter in, and it broke at Charlotte. So we got some sort of a issue that we need to resolve, and it's hard. It's like a ghost, it's hard to find, but they'll figure it out. And it's not a problem here for whatever reason, and we won't change a lot of tires this weekend, so that really narrows that opportunity for error. The tire that they brought here is super, super durable. We may not, need to change tires at all in the race, but I'm sure we'll put rights on it at some point or another.
Got time for 3 more questions. Let's go Marty, Claire, and we'll end with Dustin. Go ahead, Marty.
Sorry. Marty Smith, ESPN. Good morning. So I'm doing this story on your dad and Ned Yost, the Kansas City Royals manager. What do you remember about their relationship? How close were they? What can you tell me about their relationship?
I can't tell you anything because I don't remember. I know that Dad and Jody Davis were buddies, and I think that they met through Jody. Dad loved going hunting with those guys. I think Jeff Blauser was in that group, and I never met Jeff, or I probably met Ned, but I was so young that I don't even really remember. And it's great to hear, about their relationship. And I think that they were very close. Dad and Jody were extremely close, and I think Dad and Ned ended up becoming as good of friends as Jody and Dad were. So he just really enjoyed that little circle. Those guys all had the same common interests and spent a lot of time around each other, especially during hunting season. I know Jody and Ned would come to a lot of races and spend a lot of time with Jody in the condos in Turn 1 at Charlotte every year, and so that was definitely a part of Dad's life that he really enjoyed, and he enjoyed those relationships. Those were his guys. So
We'll go to Claire, and then we'll end with Dustin.
Claire Belang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. You've always said that you like to control the race like a prize fighter controls the fight. With you having to get the win and being in control, you talked about being in control of the restarts. Can you talk about being in control of the race, and if, like there are others that also have to be in control of the race in order to pull something off here, if that changes that, and how somebody might try to snatch control away? I can't explain what I'm trying to ask, but maybe you get it.
It's basically the guy who gets the lead, and they know it. Once you take the lead of the race, you really do. You really have a lot more control over what's going on than all the other competitors. Basically, everybody from about fourth on back is got to follow the guy in front of them. If you get a run and pull out, nobody goes with you. You're going to lose 10, 20 spots. So you sort of want to sit there and kind of follow that guy in front of you until he does that, and you take his spot. And you just want to sit there and wait on these guys to get greedy and just fill that hole. And just one after another over a period of, 80 laps or so, you sort of watch these guys get greedy, and you end up around the top 10 and top 5, and soon enough you may get a big enough run at some point to make a move of your own that can get you up into the lead or get you toward the front of one of those lines. And it's just you got to be patient to make that happen. And but once the guy that's leading the race really is, the guy controlling everything, and sort of he can block and he can do whatever he needs to do as far as getting in front of the line that's coming to be able to get the push to maintain his speed, and he can do so much more than everyone else in the field. And that's just the best place to be. And if you got a good car, good speed, like I know we do, we can fend off any kind of challenge a guy gets on your quarter panel or something. If that outside line comes and you don't defend it well enough, we've got a strong enough car that's going to be real hard to push all the way by. The side draft here with these new bodies on these cars is really strong, so you can just really sit there and kind of hold a guy at bay. And they can do that vice versa as well when they're beside you. So that's something I don't really like about this package, but everybody deals with it. A side draft here for these new bodies, for some reason, I don't know what exactly is causing it, but the side draft, you sort of get stuck to each other. You can't really get away, so somebody decides to come and push somebody through. But you can get these monster runs, and man, somebody can just grab you and stop you right at your quarter panel. But you kind of got to know what you're doing and understand that's a possibility, and try to make those passes.
Final question, Dustin.
Dustin Long, MRN.com. Dale, with what's on the line for some of you guys, and obviously just being Talladega, an opportunity for guys to win, and the challenge of getting up to the front, what kind of a race do you expect tomorrow? How do you expect the aggression level to kind of build, and do you suspect it will build earlier than in past races?
That's a good question, and I think that due to a few of us needing to win and win only, that you're going to see a handful of guys who are eager to be doing something and active and proactive toward moving the front the entire race, and that just might be enough to pull along another handful of guys to get in the middle of that and move forward as well. So Yeah, I think that judging by what we saw at Charlotte at the end of the race and the motion that we saw there, you're definitely going to have that inside all these race cars, or at least several of them. Several of these race cars are going to have guys inside there driving, thinking about the situation and understanding how dire and critical things are, and probably that's going to trigger guys to be making moves and trigger guys to do things a little bit more with more urgency than you typically would at one of these races. So I expect to maybe see where we've seen the field sort of line up and run the top and knock off 150 miles just to get it out of the way. You might not see that so much. I hope that there's fireworks on the racetrack and it's good fireworks. I hope that I thought that everything that happened last week was built great storylines and drew a lot of awareness to the sport. And this chase thing is really seems to be working as designed as far as drawing a lot of interest. What we would love to see is an exciting race with an awesome finish and something that I want people talking about how awesome and great the racing was out there on Sunday, regardless of what happens.
Dale, thank you for coming in, and all the best of luck to you tomorrow.
Yep, thank you.